And now, I'd like to introduce our first student speaker and just an all-around wonderful young man, Mr. Brandon Lay.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Wow. I just want to say, you guys look stunning right now. Like, wow. Before we begin, I'd first like to thank the school staff for their continuous efforts in fostering the growth of this incredible institution. Mr. Milholland for being the best running buddy. Mr. Leon for being an incredible mentor. And my mother for being my #1 supporter. I love you, Mom. Today, we are united to celebrate a momentous occasion. We are here to celebrate the graduating class of 2022. Can we get a round of applause? Woo! All right. After 4 years of traversing through the outdoor campus, 4 years of learning to bob and weave around assignments and friendships, and 4 years of being a proud Viking in the home that we call Valley High, we've arrived at the end. But truthfully, we've yet to be finished. We're not even close. Miss Bell just took off our training wheels, and now it's our job to continue rolling by ourselves. But the problem is that most of us, possibly all of us, aren't ready. To be fair, no one is completely ready for what lies ahead. The most we can do is try to be prepared for what comes next. Today, I wish to share an experience from my time here as a student, which has changed the entire course of my life and the way in which I continue to live it. The first day of sophomore year, I did something extremely unusual. I was forced to make a sandwich in class. The class was avid, and it was the first period in Mr. Leon's class. Without any introduction, he goes, "Class, listen up. I want you to make the best sandwich ever. You have 20 minutes to brainstorm and construct the best possible combination of ingredients that you can think of." And so we were off. My classmates churned out ideas. Peanut butter and jelly in one corner of the room, bacon, egg, and cheese in the other corner. My classmates had amazing ideas, but I didn't. My sandwich ideas weren't as cool or as wacky as some of my classmates, and I beat myself up for it. Obviously stuck, I turned to Mr. Leon, and I asked him, "Mr. Leon, what type of sandwich are you even looking for?" He said, "Brandon, who are you making that sandwich for? What do you think is the best sandwich?" It's not hard to answer, you're just being hard on yourself. I sat down, and after 20 minutes, I came up with the best sandwich, my best sandwich, an ice cream sandwich. You see, I spent too much time worrying about the sandwich that Mr. Leon would have wanted, when I should have been worrying about the sandwich that I wanted. I should have stopped comparing myself to my classmates, and I shouldn't have been so hard on myself. That day, I learned the importance of comparing myself to only myself, the importance of individuality, and the importance of community. Throughout my entire high school education, I've never once felt like I knew who I was. I tried to twist my identity and conform to the behaviors of others because I felt so heavily impacted by their presence, intelligence, charm, humor, or charisma. I remember thinking, man, I want to be as handsome and tall as Joseph Delgado one day. Or I wish my hair was as silky and smooth as Nathan Bali's. And I would become so caught up in trying to act like someone else. This desire to constantly seek validation within other people only took away from my own self-worth. Until I learned the importance of community and how this community, all of you, has allowed me to find value within myself. I've learned that finding value within yourself doesn't come from only yourself. It comes from other people. We take little bits of characteristics and lessons from each corner of our communities and incorporate them into our own identities. You see, Valley High is such an amazing institution, not only because of its resources, academics, or programs, but because of the people. Sacramento is one of the most diverse populations in the entire country, and it's especially prevalent on campus. My cross-country team taught me the value of vulnerability and the act of opening up. My theater cast taught me how to convey emotion and express it as a tool of humanity for the entire world to see. You see, it's pointless to be in a constant search for yourself because you can't find your identity. You create it. And it's when we start to forge our own identity that we experience bumps and twists along the way, but that's what life is. Life is about understanding our strengths and weaknesses and realizing that it's okay to be average at certain things. It's okay to be bad at math, and it's definitely okay to be a beginner in a class full of experts. But after finding my community, the only real question that I ask myself and all of you today is, are you going to stay that way, or will you rise to the challenge? And with time, we will rise, each and every single one of us, whether it takes you 5 days or 10 years. I know that the path beyond high school seems treacherous, but I know that we can continue to move forward as a class, as individuals, as a community. Today, we have overcome the numerous obstacles of high school adolescence together. And as we look back, we will be reminded of our experiences and how they've acted as a catalyst to our growth. Vikings, sail beyond the horizon and never look back, unless you're looking back on how much you've grown from here until then. Before we part ways, I encourage you to take risks, travel to different places, advocate for yourself, and to find your community. And if you can't find your community, then strive to create one. Class of 2022, I congratulate you. Now get out there, create a sandwich that works for you, find your own community, and change the world. Thank you.